Man, if I didn't read it, I wouldn't believe it. Y'all gonna hear this and think to yourselves, why the hell did Peewee Longway do this one? Spoiler ahead, the feds want 14 years, his team want 10. But how they got there gonna make your god dang head spin. Let's go. Let's just get into it. United States versus Peewee. Longway. Let's get into it. The government respectfully recommends that the court sentence Quincy Williams to 168 months imprisonment to be followed by 5 years of supervised release. One, the facts. Williams was an integral and longstanding member of the drug trafficking organization DTO led by Francisco Ivan Cortez Camargo, as he was responsible for distributing, I can't say this earlier in the freaking video, so pardon me, that F-ball and that METHOD, man. Now, his drug trafficking activities were serious and calculated. On April 15, 2024, Williams received at least 3.6 kilos of actual M-ball from Cortez, which he later distributed to unindicted co-conspirators. During this transaction, as he did in later transactions, Williams used his recording studio as a drug and gun stash house. Then, during the summer of 2024, Williams communicated and met with Cortez, other members of Cortez DTO, unindicted co-conspirators, and others about additional drug transactions, including one involving 20 keys of that M-ball. Williams knew where Cortez lived and conducted drug transactions at Cortez's house. And Williams coordinated with Cortez on the sale and further distribution of drugs. Williams' drug trafficking activities were extensive. After Cortez was arrested, agents discovered drug ledgers in Cortez's residence detailing the activities of the DTO. According to the ledgers, in the month of March 2024 alone, Williams, aka Longway, had transacted with Cortez to the tune of at least $67,000. Those drug transactions continued apace in subsequent months, totaling conservatively hundreds of thousands of dollars in drug money being exchanged between the two. A cooperating defendant, meaning a snitch, who also distributed drugs on behalf of the DTO, identified Williams as a large-scale drug trafficker with gang ties responsible in the Cortez DTO for distributing that C word. Once again, it's too early in the video, so we can't even say what it is. That M-ball and that F-ball. The defendant also proffered that Williams distributed at least 40 keys of that M-ball and hundreds of keys of that C word. When agents searched Williams' recording studio, drug and gun stash house, they found more drugs and many weapons, including 2,928 counterfeit oxys, them M30 pills. So he had fake ones on him, y'all. Come on now. Containing nearly 250 grams of that F-ball and other drugs, and an arsenal of ammunition and guns, many of which were loaded with rounds in the chamber. Or they had them goddamn extendos on them. They had a Ruger, they had a Diamondback Arms model DB-15, they had a Taurus model 605 and a 357 caliber revolver, a Glock model 19 9mm, Romar Cougar model Draco, HS product, Springfield Armory model XD-40 40 caliber pistol with a loaded mag and a bullet in the chamber. And then it goes on to say agents found 2 more guns in the recording studio, but those are not attributed to Williams. Then on the bottom where it says the footnote, it says, although Williams was not charged nor convicted of possession with intent to distribute the C word, the government evidence shows that he communicated with Cortez and others about the sale and distribution of the C word. And we're going to stop right there. Y'all never caught him with nothing. Up until now, it may be something on down the line, because when I read this to y'all, for me, I like to stop, give y'all insight, and then pop right back in. They're saying so far, we didn't even catch it with nothing. This was all alleged. So the guns and all that shit, all right, maybe he'd have got 5, 6, 7 years for that. But so far, y'all didn't actually catch him with a thing. So really what's going on is they're saying, oh, it was in the house. And the ledgers say all this, but you never were in possession of any of this. So that's why he beat the life sentence. But come on, man. Roll it. Just damn, bro. Just damn. Williams' behavior after being arrested apparently did not change. Instead, according to at least 2 cooperating defendants, Williams continued his drug trafficking activities inside RADD, paying off guards to smuggling contraband, phones, marijuana, and tobacco. But where's the proof? Okay. Anyways, PSR objections. Williams objects to the 2-level enhancement pursuant to 2D1.1B1 for possession of a dangerous weapon. His objection is without merit. First, he agreed to the enhancement in the plea agreement. Second, that enhancement applies if the weapons was present unless it is clearly improbable that the weapons was connected with the offense. Then it says Apple Note 11A USSG. Anyways, Williams' guns were in his recording studio, a location where he had conducted at least one previous drug transaction with Cortez, despite being a convicted felon unable to legally possess firearms. Williams did not hesitate to possess at least 6 guns when agents searched the studio. But y'all said he never had them on his person, pardon me. Many of those guns were loaded with rounds in the chamber or had an extended magazine. But let's go to the bottom of this right here, because this should be interesting, right? The PSR provides information on one cooperating defendant. A second cooperating defendant whose proffer was provided to defendant also told the government that Williams was distributing marijuana inside RADD. He specifically described the marijuana as Williams personally branded marijuana, with some of which was found inside of Williams' residence at the time of his arrest. As noted in the PSR, if Williams persists in this objection, the court could remove his credit for acceptance of responsibility. However, the government understands from defense counsel that Williams will not maintain his objection at the sentencing hearing. So why bring it up? I guess whatever. Anyways, finally, the 11th Circuit has long held that this enhancement should apply and constructive possession of firearm exists when a defendant has control over the premises where the gun is found. So if it's your house, it's going to be yours automatically, which is pretty damn dumb because people can walk in there and set you up. But anyways, finding constructive possession when a fellow drug dealer attested to the presence of 2 semi-automatic firearms on a table in a marijuana stash house controlled by Villarreal. And it goes on to say, noting constructive possession suffices to support the enhancement and affirming the enhancement's application when firearm was found in defendant's bedroom along with scales, a Ziploc bag containing the C-word residue and large, whatever the hell. Anyways, Williams also objects to the 2-level enhancement pursuant to 2K2.1B1A for the number of guns found in the studio. But again, his objection falls flat. The guns found by agents were in Williams' recording studio. Many of those guns were located right next to illegal controlled substances, including the F-ball. And Williams was convicted of possessing with intent to distribute those controlled substances. Thus, it is improbable that Williams was not aware of or involved in the placement of the firearm stored directly next to those controlled substances. If y'all wondering why the screen is doing like that, this is the easiest way for me to read. If you understood the setup, then you would know. Ceddy Nash does not own a goddamn computer. I do all of this shit off my phone. So yeah, as a felon, he was not allowed to possess guns or ammunition, but possess both with impunity. And it says, we're just gonna skip down, sufficiently close proximity. Temporarily, physical will be relevant. His objection should be overruled. Williams further objects to the calculation of his criminal history score, PSR, at 76, 80, and 81. Again, his objection should be overruled. His 2006 conviction of possession of marijuana with intent to distribute was correctly attributed criminal history points. He was revoked for violating the conditions of his parole in 2011. The date of the revocation falls within a 15-year window prior to the earliest date Williams' relevant conduct. History points prior, he pled guilty to participate in drug trafficking conspiracy. Nobody gives a damn about that. Then they go on to say the factors and why the government recommends it and all this bullshit that really nobody really cares about. But Luis Miguel Montoya had over 30,000 kilograms. Shit. Moreover, unlike most of the defendants involved in the Cortez DTO, Williams was responsible for a significant amount of fentanyl pills. Fentanyl is among the deadliest drugs on the planet, as even just one pill is enough to take a life. The fact is exacerbated in situations like here, where fentanyl pills marked as M30 pills had the potential to be sold by other distributors as something they're not. Yeah, that's bad. Williams may not have been distributing the drugs on behalf of Cortez, but Cortez still supplied them with a tremendous amount of drugs over a long period of time. You know, it's crazy. They would have got away with this shit if cats wasn't snitching. They actually had it set up nicely. Given the amount of drugs he's responsible for, talking about Cortez, Williams' distribution is like that of his original co-defendants, Melvin Harrell, Richard Darity, and Montoya Villagomez. But his conduct is aggravating in comparison to Darity and Montoya, given his possession of numerous firearms as a convicted felon. So they basically talking about, bruh, you screwed over because you had all them guns and you was a prior convict. But yeah, we're just going to go ahead and scroll and see if we see anything that's worth noting. They talk about his history and how they found 3,000 pills of counterfeit oxycodone containing fentanyl. Same shit that they're saying basically again. And all of this shit, all the guns he had, and then avoiding unwarranted sentencing disparities, even though custody guidelines range from 235 to 293 months. The government is only recommending that he be sentenced to 168 months imprisonment. Cortez is the leader of DTO and was sentenced to 188 months. And the original co-defendants, Montoya, Villagomez, and Harrell, were sentenced to 120 months. A sentence of 168 months is sufficient to hold Williams accountable for his actions and accounts for the seriousness of his conduct position in the DTO and aggravated factors other defendants did not have. Cortez had significant mitigating circumstances, including that he will be deported to Mexico following his sentence. Montoya, Villagomez, and Harrell also had mitigating circumstances and neither possessed the same aggravating factors as Williams, meaning goddamn Peewee Longway had more charges than everybody else, so that's why they want to give him some more. So there's that, and then talking about his possible conduct at RADD, Williams needs a sentence significantly greater than that of Harrell and Montoya Villagomez. A sentence of 168 months is appropriate in comparison to Cortez as well. Importantly, the government has not received evidence, and this is important. This is one of the factors why we are here. The government ain't received a damn thing of evidence from personnel at RADD to confirm that the conduct occurred. And because of that, the government does not seek to lessen Williams' credit for acceptance of responsibility. But it is significant as a factor, basically, that the two cooperated defendants had consistently shared with the government that Williams has been engaging in this activity while at RADD. But y'all didn't catch him with none of this shit. So that's the issue. They lied to y'all. Both of them did. So we're going to leave it right there. I think Peewee ultimately gets 11 years. And I believe he gets 11 years because of the snitches. The snitches story hasn't held up yet. They said Peewee Longway is smuggling in weed and all of this shit and everything. And the feds, like they do with their dirty playing cells, they added it in there, but with no goddamn proof. And that doesn't make sense. So you're telling me you're trying to seek this man to say more responsibility and all of this shit and trying to paint him as a bad man, but you haven't proven it. See, we are under the belief it's not what you know or anything like that. It's what you can actually prove. Feds, state, city, municipalities, counties, parishes. Shout out Louisiana. So in my mind, y'all playing dirty because the way that Peewee's attorneys worded it was everybody in the case either got a high amount as being the damn head honcho, and he only got, a year more? And then the lower ones got 3 years, almost 5 years less? So you didn't catch the man with none of the shit that y'all say. Y'all only have conviction through the studio, which in my mind now, I'm thinking to myself, shit, if I ever went to some illegal shit, don't put my name on any damn thing. Because the only way that they were able to convict him is through a freaking ledger, which is insane to me. Bruh, that shit to me is definitely goddamn dumb. It just is. If you have the ability to write this shit down, you have the ability to dispose of everything, because had all this shit magically caught on fire, they would have had no evidence on Peewee Longway. They would have just had a freaking recording studio with his name on it that people had access to that had drugs and guns and all this shit. And there's that. It's the Young Thug defense of why he signed his plea deal. Oh, man, the guns and the drugs inside the house and all this shit, but Young Thug conveniently leaves out. People confessed and copped to the guns any damn ways. But anyways, so, yeah, man, Peewee Longway got screwed. And that's why he beat the life sentence. We're thinking to ourselves, hey, bruh, his lawyer fire his shit. When his lawyer just held back the fires, which is still a lot. Don't get me wrong. He didn't get bullied by the feds. He didn't let the feds press no bullshit on Peewee Longway. He didn't allow any of that. So we're going to give credit where credit is due. But understand this. There is no way in this world that Peewee Longway should even get 10 years, in my opinion. He should really get like 3 to 4. Because it wasn't good detective work. Good detective work would have basically sat back and he got the box, he got the bag, he got the cash, pull his ass over. Now we got him with all that. So Peewee was far too intelligent to let any of that shit hit his hands. The weed in the goddamn federal jailhouse. Y'all didn't even catch him with shit. So y'all just did a whole bunch of lying in that shit. And if I'm Peewee Longway's goddamn lawyers, I'm looking like, hey, judge, why is this in here? It's the same shit that happened with Boosie. Boosie has a stain on his name that he did not earn. And right now, I'm at odds with Boosie. I don't really like Boosie right now because a lot of the shit he's done is bullshit. And the reason why I'm saying this is because I'm still able to be fair, square, obvious, and honest. Boosie got a stain on his name that says he told on the damn what's cuz name? On the security guard. But on the cameras in Georgia, the security guard is the one that's loading up the guns and putting this shit into the damn containers, taking them to California. Why is that important, Ceddy Nash? Because people then went out their own way to lie on Boosie and say, Boosie said the gun was his, meaning the security guards and all of this shit. Boosie never said that. You know why? There was no cameras on there. No camera work ever showed that. There's no audio. There's no anything. That was just some hearsay bullshit where the police say, oh, we heard him say that. Well, why isn't that on your goddamn body cam? Then your body cam inside of the jail cells and all that shit. And it's always recording in the jails. Y'all don't have any audio for that. And that's what this is looking like all over again. People lying, the feds lying to seal and steal a conviction because y'all upset that y'all couldn't get that man a life sentence. They wanted to say the drugs in your house, the guns in your house, you're a convicted felon, you did all of this other shit, you deserve to go to jail, and in all candor, no the hell you actually didn't. The feds did not nail Peewee Longway on shit. They just got him in a ledger. And used his relationship with a big-time drug dealer and 2 snitches. So, free Peewee Longway, man. Free the MPA, man. Free shit Tro too, man. Free Brick, baby. Free everybody, bro. This shit sucks, man. But life goes on, unfortunately. Subscribe, turn on bell, stay notified, and share to keep your people aware fully. Thank you all, by the way. Y'all been showing a whole lot of love. This is July. If you know me, you know the type of month this is, so I ain't really digging this month at all. So if it seems like my energy is low as shit, there's a reason for that. So I appreciate y'all, man. If you can, man, subscribe to the channel. If not, then hey, I appreciate it anyways for you stopping by. But if you want to get caught up on some more shit, Big 30 is being set up by the feds. And boy, that shit look crazy. Click right here for that video or click right here for the playlist to get you through your day. And I will catch y'all on the next one. Hope y'all appreciate the permanent new setup. Thank you all.